Oh, this is static.
Okay, chapter 4. How many of you are finished with it on Seagate? Okay. You okay on it? In the 90s? All right, did you have to do a worksheet on any of the problems on Seagate? It's one of those spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gave you one little practice. Plus, I gave you one as a bonus. I could get in. All right. So you know what that one problem is. Please study for it. The spreadsheet, the statements, closing entries, and adjusting entries. You have to get those adjusting entries. Okay, attendance, not all that great this morning. People up on the hill in different offices are inquiring about attendance, and some of the other professors are putting early alert things on there. And I just had an email from somebody at the registrar's office, checking on one of the students that's in his class, wanting to know his grade and his attendance and so forth. So, grade was barely passing, his attendance is poor, he's not here today, of course. Okay, so, but they do check on these things. All right, so then we went up to chapter 5, and I don't think a whole lot about chapter 5. We're going to look at it. Special journals, still used, of course, but computers makes them easy, and we'll be practicing these special journals a little bit on Cengage. We're not going to spend a ton of time with them today, and that'll probably be it. Okay, so we're about ready for our second test. I think midterm ends about October the 2nd. Some of you need a chance to pull up your grade on that first test so we won't get a bad midterm grade. It's October something. So we need to have a test real soon. Probably no later than next Tuesday. Now the date is, I guess, September 25th?
Yes, sir.
And what would next Tuesday be?
Yeah.
What?
First and second.
But that week, I think midterm grades are due, so I'd like to give another test for some of you pull up your grades. And we'll be on chapter 4 and 5, with very little from chapter 5. So forth. So, but, and the last day, I think, the drop-in course is November the 2nd. All right, so let's look again at chapter 5 and those special journals. If I start coughing, I'll leave the room a few minutes. Sinuses and pollen. I start to get better, and I'll get out and mow and get all that pollen. This weekend, I went camping Friday and Saturday, get out in the night air, and get those sinuses active again, I guess. All right, now chapter 5 is the accounting systems, and we looked at some of the PowerPoints. Now, what is a subsidiary ledger? What is a subsidiary ledger?
It comes off the general ledger.
It comes off the general ledger. What do you have a subsidiary ledger for? Different accounts. What people? Customers or creditors? Yeah, that's people. Well, customers are people or business, and creditors usually is another business or bank, so forth. So subsidiary. And the general ledger is the controlling account, accounts payable, accounts receivable. All right. Now, what goes in the revenue journal? What kind of information goes in the revenue journal? Fees earned. Yeah, it could be sales, fees earned, any kind of revenue, professional fees. But what kind of fees earned goes in the revenue journal?
Provided services on the account.
On account, on credit. All right. What kind of purchases goes in the purchase journal? On credit. And then what kind of items go in a cash receipts journal? Anytime you receive cash, no matter what the source. Cash payments, anytime you pay out cash, no matter what the payment. Now the general journal, adjusting interest has to go in a general journal. Closing interest has to go in a general journal. Some other kind of funny entries may have to go in a general journal. So we're going to look at a few of those. Review the chapter, read it well. I think we looked at PowerPoint. Okay, I want us to go to page 239. Sorry, don't go to page 259. There I go again, page 259. All right, we're going to look at two exercises to try to get you familiar with what journal goes what. Exercise 5. Receipt a cash refund from overpayment of taxes. All right, where is the sign-in sheet? Is it made around yet? It's hanging on to it back there. Sorry. All right, you guys sign it. Everybody did. Okay.
I sign in.
Thank you, sir. Like my 12-year-old grandson has that little colored seal. All right, Alexandra, how about that one? What journal would that go in? Receipt of cash refund.
Which exercise was it?
All right, now we're on page 259, exercise 3. Question number 1.
Gotta go in the cash receipts.
All right, you receive cash, no doubt about it. It goes in the cash receipts journal. All right, adjustment to record accrued salaries. Safe, where would you put adjustments?
That go in
General. I asked yourself, if I received cash, did I pay out cash? Did I purchase something or did I sell something? If you didn't do one of those 4 things, it has to go in the general journal. Provided services on account. How about that one, Joshua?
It's a revenue journal.
All right, revenue journal. What we were talking about a minute ago. And Ryan, how about investment of additional cash in the business? No, we're putting cash into the business. Money's coming in. Be cash receipts. Johnny, what do you think about receipt of cash on account from a customer? One of our customers paid us money. Take a guess. When you get money, folks, where do you put it? Cash receipts. Okay. Okay, the other, Alexandra. Receipt of cash for rent
Cash receipts.
has to go in cash receipts. Receipt of cash from sale of office equipment. How about that one, Jacob?
Cash receipts.
Cash receipts. You got money. No matter what you get cash for. Sale of used office equipment on account at cost to a neighboring business. We sold some used office equipment on account at cost to a neighboring business. I'm going to ask anybody that one. I would probably put that one in the general journal because that's not your regular revenue. Revenue on account. We probably wouldn't have a column for that in the revenue journal. All right, we closed out the accounts. How about that one, Cole? Closing interest has to go in the general. All right, Jeff, how about provided services for cash? It has to go in cash receipts. Okay. All right, be looking down those next ones. Identify journals. Take a minute, number your paper A through K, and jot down. Just put R for revenue journal, and a CR for cash receipts, and a CP for cash payments, and a J for general journal, and P for purchase. We'll take a minute and do that next exercise. All right, so first we'll then payment of 6 months rent. How about that one, Dylan? Cash payments has to be. Purchase of office equipment on account. Margot, what do you think? Purchase of office equipment on account. But now on this one, you've only got a purchase journal, a general journal, and a cash payments journal. You've only got 3 journals. Purchase. Kelly, how about the next one? Adjustment to record depreciation. Has to go into general. And Robert, how about that next adjustments also? F, how about purchases of service on account? F, Robert.
That's a purchase journal.
Probably complete the purchase journal. They may have a separate column for that. Then adjustment G is the same thing. General journal. Purchase of office equipment should go in the purchase journal. Adjustment to prepaid insurance. General journal. Purchase of office supplies. Purchase journal. Advance payment of 1 year fire insurance policy on the office. That'd be going to cash payments journal. So identifying these journals. Now you don't have a workbook and you don't have these journals, but we're going to look at it in a different format. Not just one journal or 2 journals or 3, but all of them. So we're going to look at problem 5-5A, page 272. 272, 5-5A. I'm going to bring these solutions up so you can look at them. See, a revenue journal, all you can put in it is revenue on account. That's all you can put there. Accounts receivable and credit fees earned. That's why we could not put that sale of used office equipment in the revenue journal, even though it's on account. Now, this is a cash receipts journal. It's only got 3 columns. One is fees earned, credit and debit cash. Another one is debit cash and credit accounts receivable. But that could have a lot more columns. It could have other account columns. So that's why we're going to look at this one problem. It may help you when you do. Has anybody started Cengage, chapter 5? All right. What percent are you through, Ryan? Huh? 98 already? Okay, when did I tell you Cengage chapter 4 had to be finished? The 27th? Thursday. Okay. All right. You'll need chapter 5 finished by Tuesday, Cengage, chapter 5. That's probably the day we'll have a test. And we'll review for that Thursday. All right, now, again, let me show you a purchase journal. It doesn't matter what problem. But we can buy anything in this purchase journal. Of course, if we buy pet supplies, there's a big company here, S. They're distributors for dental supplies, pet supplies, and also for medical, hospital, and doctors. Anybody know what that company is? Big distributor of all kinds. Dental supplies, pet supplies, and medical supplies. Because I just got an email from one of our former students that worked there. And they had hired 2 of our accounting students from last year and the year before, and they really liked them. But they were looking for another worker, but not in the accounting field. It's more in the some kind of science field or some other field. So I couldn't help with that company. It's a big company. I'll get the name of it. I'm sure you've seen it or heard of it. All right, but here, pet supplies. Debit supplies, credit accounts payable. Debit supplies, credit accounts payable. But here we bought office equipment. We debit office equipment and we credit accounts payable. You can add any columns you want to these special journals. You can combine them with other journals. All right, this would be a cash payments journal where you credit cash for everything in it. And you debit your accounts payable, but however, cleaning expenses, we just pay cash. And we can put that in the other. So we can pay cash for anything and put it in the other. Okay, and we can make any kind of special columns, like accounts payable. If we had something else that we paid for real often, salary expense, we could put salaries in there. Debit salary expense and credit cash. Okay, but now we'll go down to the problem 5. Now you have to know your special journals even for Cengage. Of course, the cash receipts journal, you debit cash for everything, and you credit accounts receivable, and you whatever else. If you had cash sales, cash fees earned, credit fees earned, debit cash. And once again, you only post a total to cash. 34, 390. You only post a total accounts receivable. Here you post individually, of course, to fees earned. Since it's only, well, no, you post a total since you have a special column. You have a special column for all 3, so just post the 3 totals. Okay, now we're going to look at problem on page 272, problem 5A. Now I want you to think about the first 5. Take a look at the first 5 and think about what journal you would put each one of those transactions in. If you've got all 5 journals, think about what journal would I put this in? All right, let's look at those. What do you think? Issued check number 610, where would that go? Cash what? No, you're issuing a check. Cash payment. All right. We issued invoice 940. And when you issue an invoice, what are you doing? Yeah, revenue and accounts receivable has to go to the revenue journal. When you issue an invoice, you're billing somebody for services. All right, received a check. Now, where would that go? No, received a check would go into cash receipts. Purchased a vehicle on account. You know, you probably have a special column for purchase journal. And then purchased office equipment on account. All right, now in this problem, if you had a workbook, we'd be doing it manually. And you'd have to set up all the accounts for the customers, suppliers, and the control. There would have been a lot of those. You can see advertising expense and what have you. But now let's take a look at these first transactions. Now, in this purchase journal, did we put the vehicle and the office equipment from those first 5 transactions? Okay, and we debit accounts payable. Accounts payable don't make sense for that much money on a vehicle. It'd usually be notes payable, wouldn't it? It would be a note, installment loan. So that's where 2 of your entries went to vehicles, and you'd have to post those individually. You'll have to do this on Cengage. So now let me glance at another journal. Did we have a sale at the beginning? We issued an invoice to Clifford Company. Is Clifford Company not there? Where did that 1740 go? See, I don't know if some of these, they already had a couple of entries in them. So here is Clifford Company down on the 12th. Just put it in accounts receivable and wait a minute.
That's a cash receipts journal.
That's cash receipts journal. That's when Clifford paid us. All right. We'll have to find that in a revenue journal. There's the revenue journal and there's Clifford. We sold to Clifford. And then one of those other 5, rent expense goes in the cash payments journal, don't it? Okay, now I want you to take a minute and go down through there from as many as you can. Label as many as those you can in the next 2 or 3 minutes. Problem 5A. Just what journal would you put them in? General journal, revenue journal, cash receipts, cash payments, purchase. All right, so let's look at these for a moment. Issued invoice on the 6th. What journal? Anybody? Issued invoice.
Revenue.
If you issue an invoice, it's a revenue journal. All right, issued check number. If you issue a check, it's what journal? Cash payment. All right, received check from Seeing Company. Received the check. What journal? Cash receipts. Okay, issued another check. What journal? All right, we issued another check, invoice on the 10th. Revenue journal. Issued another check on the 11th and issued another check on the 12th. What journal? Cash payment. Received cash from Clifford. Received cash will be cash receipts. Issued another check. All right, and on the 16th, issued another check. I want to slow down there and let you look at a few more of these down through there. Basically, that's what you're going to have on test from this chapter, just identify what journal things go in. And posting, I may ask you to identify posting. Okay, you probably had time enough to look at these, so think about them. All right, cash fees earned. What journal? Cash receipts. Issued a check. Purchase maintenance supplies. Purchase the following on account: maintenance supplies and office supplies. All right. Issued check number 618. It don't matter what it's for, it goes into cash what? All right, now we use 3,200 maintenance supplies. What journal? It has to go in the general, adjusted entry. Purchase office supplies, I guess on credit, on account. Purchase journal, issued another invoice on the 24th. Revenue journal, issued check number 619. Cash payments, issued invoice. Revenue, received a check from Ryan Company. What journal? We received a check. Where do you put it? Cash receipts. Issued a check. Cash payments. Issued another check. Cash payments. On page 273. Cash fees earned. What journal for cash fees earned? Cash receipts. Issued another check. All right. Now, I want you to look at these journals, and I want you to do something from these journals. All right. Here we have two special columns, accounts payable and cash credit. So this must be the cash payments journal, isn't it? Okay. And here we have the one item. Whoa, where'd this one come from? The general journal. Oh, that was the adjusted entry, wasn't it? We debit maintenance supplies expense and credit maintenance supplies. Now, the revenue journal, one column, but it represents accounts receivable debit and fees earned credit. All right, let's back up. There's the revenue journal, general journal. This was your cash payments journal. There was your revenue. Did we not have a cash receipts journal? Is that it? All right. On a piece of paper, describe. This is probably what I'll do on a test, since I'm not going to give you these journals, or I may give you this picture on a test. And I will ask you, how do you post these items? How do I post? Don't forget this column either. How do I post? So make a brief description, write out on plain paper. How do you post this journal, cash receipts journal? How do you post it? Where do you post